Did you know that 1 in 8 men will face prostate cancer at some point in his life? This is the second most lethal cancer among men, and the worst. He advances silently without giving clear signs until it's too late. Many only realize when there is not much to do. But today, you will discover the 8 most silent signs of this danger. The last one is the most common, and unfortunately, the most ignored. Stay with me until the end, because this information can save lives. Prostate cancer is treacherous. It grows slowly, without fuss, without apparent pain, and when symptoms appear, it may be spread throughout the body. Many men end up discovering too late because they ignore the small alerts the body gives. But there is something that can be done. Science has proved identifying the signs early increases the chances of healing by up to 90%. The problem is that most simply don't know what to look for. If you are over 50, pay attention. Your risk has already increased considerably. If there are cases in the family, that risk doubles. And if you still think you're safe because you don't feel anything, be careful. Prostate cancer does not warn of obvious pain at first. He acts in silence, but the body always gives signs. Signs that you cannot ignore. The first of these is the change in urinary frequency. If you have noticed that you need to urinate more often during the day or wake up several times at night to go to the bathroom, this can be a warning. It is normal to urinate between 6 and 8 times a day, at most once at night. But when the prostate grows, whether benign or not, it presses the bladder and urethra, making you need to go to the bathroom all the time. The problem is that many find this normal for age and ignore the signal. If this has happened to you or someone close, leave your comment below. Your report can help other people. And if this video makes sense to you, enjoy now. This helps me to continue bringing essential information to your health. Another symptom that goes unnoticed is the urinary urgency. Suddenly, the desire to urinate comes up without warning, and you feel you can't hold back. This can be a big discomfort and even cause embarrassing situations. In addition, many men report a persistent feeling that the bladder never is completely empty. You feel you need to urinate again right after leaving the bathroom. This symptom is one of the first signs that something is wrong, and don't stop there. Another important warning is the difficulty in differentiating the pressure caused by the gut and that of the increased prostate. This causes some men to feel the need to evacuate even without having to. Many think it is a digestive problem, when in fact, the prostate is pressing the rectum. This discomfort can be a sign that something is growing where it should not. If you have noticed something like, it is essential to see a doctor as soon as possible. The sooner they act, the greater the chances of avoiding serious complications. Do not ignore the signs of your body. If this content is helping you, share with those who need to know this. Lumbar pain is another symptom that many underestimate. If you feel a constant discomfort in the lower back that does not improve with rest or common painkillers, be aware. Prostate cancer can spread to bones, especially to the spine, causing persistent pain. The problem is that at this stage, the disease may be advanced. This pain is not muscle pain that improves with a good night's sleep or massage. She is deep, constant, and it seems to come from the inside out. Often it gets worse at night and hinders sleep. If you or someone close have felt this kind of pain, don't ignore it. It can be a silent warning of your body asking for help. Another sign that cannot be ignored is the presence of blood in the urine or semen. This can be scary, and often men prefer to pretend they didn't see, but it cannot be ignored. Blood in the urine may have a reddish, pink, or even brownish tone. In semen, it may appear in small blemishes or make the fluid darker. In some cases, it may be an infection or inflammation, but it may also be a serious symptom. If you notice any changes in the color of the urine or semen, see a doctor immediately. Do not expect the problem to disappear alone. It may be the difference between an early diagnosis and a more aggressive and risky treatment. And if you have gotten here, that means you worry about your health. So like this video and share more people to have access to this information. Inexplicable weight loss is also an alert. When the body begins to lose weight effortlessly, without diet, without changes in routine, it is a sign that something is wrong. This is because cancer consumes the body's energy and affects metabolism. In addition, extreme fatigue can combat this weight loss. It is not just a common tiredness. It is a deep exhaustion that does not improve with rest. If you have felt unusual tiredness combined with other symptoms, be aware. Your body may be warning you of something serious. Do not ignore these signs. The sooner you act, the greater your chances of avoiding the more serious problems. Another silent symptom, but which may indicate a serious problem, is the burning or pain when urinating. Many men associate this with a simple urinary tract infection or even the consumption of spicy foods. But in fact, it may be a warning that the prostate is pressing the urethra and making it difficult to pass the urine. In more severe cases, this pain can become intense and persistent. In addition, painful ejaculation is a symptom that few speak, but it can be an early alert. If the intimate relationship became uncomfortable, if there is pain in the pelvic region during or after ejaculation, it is essential to seek medical attention. This symptom may be related to inflammation, but it may also indicate something more serious. Many men ignore this sign out of shame, and it can be expensive. If you or someone you know have been through, don't be silent. Comment below so that more people know the importance of these signs. And if this information has made sense to you, enjoy and share so that more men can protect themselves in time. Prostate cancer can be silent, but the body always gives signs. The question is, are you listening? If you think none of this applies to you, pay attention, because prostate cancer gives no obvious warnings. It does not come with fever, does not cause sudden malaise. It does not make you feel that something serious is happening. He acts as a silent threat, slowly taking your body without you realizing it until it's too late. What is happening inside your body now, Or are you just assuming it's okay because you don't feel pain? The big mistake of most men is to wait for the pain to come. But when the pain comes, the reality is already different. Cancer may have spread to bones, may have already taken over the pelvis spine, the bladder, and at this stage, treatment options become more limited. You can't wait to feel something. If you are waiting, it may be too late. And here is a fact that few say. Prostate cancer can lead to total loss of urinary control. Imagine someday needing to use diapers because it just can't hold the urine anymore. This happens when the tumor advances, pressing the bladder and damaging the nerves responsible for this function. The shame, the loss of independence, the limitation to leave home. All this can happen if the signs are ignored. Do you want to wait for this point? Want to risk your dignity because you thought a medical appointment could stay for later? Time is your biggest enemy when it comes to cancer, and with each passing day, without action, can cost the only thing you can't recover, your life. Now pay attention, because the next symptom is ignored by almost every man, and it can be the first sign that something very wrong is happening inside you. If you have already felt a strange pressure in the pelvic region, something that is not pain but bothers, pay attention. This can be one of the first signs of prostate cancer. It's discrete discomfort at first, something easy to ignore, but over time, this feeling can get worse. It can radiate to the testicles, to the groin, to the lower part of the abdomen. If you are feeling this now, know this may be the warning that something inside you is changing. And here is a scary detail. When this discomfort becomes accompanied by sexual impotence, the danger is even greater. Prostate cancer can affect the nerves responsible for erection, causing difficulties that did not exist before. Many men think this is just an age problem, but in some cases, it is a warning. A warning that, if ignored, can lead to irreversible consequences. Now imagine this. You begin to realize that your energy is disappearing. What was once easy now tires. Small tasks make you exhausted. You no longer have the courage to do what you liked. The body looks weaker, slower, and you can't explain why. This is one of the most dangerous symptoms because it seems harmless. You might think it's just stress, it's just the age coming. But what if it is not? What if this is your body trying to warn you that there is something growing inside you, something that is sucking your energy and consuming your strength? Lack of extreme energy, combined with loss of appetite and weight loss without reason, can be a sign that cancer is already taking over your body. And at this stage, he no longer wants to be hidden. He is spreading. And every day you expect is a day that it gets more space within you. Now I need you to raise. How many of these signs have you felt? And how many did you ignore, thinking it was something fleeting? Because now you already know the truth. You know that prostate cancer does not warn you, obviously. You know he doesn't scream, he whispers. And if you don't pay attention to these whispers, you can end up listening only to the final diagnosis, when the options are limited and time is no longer in your favor. And if you're thinking, but I'm not old enough for that yet, here is a cruel truth. Prostate cancer is not waiting for you to feel old. It can start early, especially if there is a history in your family. And when he begins, he is in no hurry to reveal himself. He advances silently until the day you realize something is wrong. But there is not much to do. Now you have two choices. You can ignore this and follow your life as if nothing had happened. Or you can act now, take control of your health, and ensure that this silent enemy has no chance against you. The decision is yours. But remember, each waiting day is one more day for cancer to grow. And if you think this is not important, look around you. Think about how many men have already lost their lives for discovering too late. Do you want to be one more in this statistic? Or do you want to be one of those who took the reins of your life and prevented it from happening? If you got here, I know you care. So do something now. Share this video. Someone you know may be ignoring these signs. It can be a father, a brother, a friend. This information can save lives, and you can be the person who made it happen. But before you finish, I need to tell you about the last symptom, the most common, the most ignored. What may be happening to you right now without you having the slightest idea, because he is so discreet that he goes unnoticed. But when you finally notice, it may be too late. Want to know what it is? So continue with me. You can't miss it. And here is the most common symptom, the most ignored, the one who may be happening now inside you without you realizing it. The symptom that, when it finally appears clearly, may mean that cancer has already advanced. Do you want to know what it is? So pay close attention, because it can change everything. We are talking about the difficulty in urinating. And no, it's not just that moment when you take a few seconds to start the flow. It is much more serious than that. You feel that the urine comes out weaker, that it takes longer than normal, that needs to push. At times she comes in drops without any strength. And when you finally think you ended, you still feel that you didn't completely empty the bladder. If this has happened to you, it's a warning. A silent warning that something may be growing inside your prostate and squeezing your urethra, preventing the normal passage of the urine. This is not any discomfort. This is not something that can be ignored and left for later. Because if this lot gets worse, you can get to the point of simply not being able to urinate, no drops. And then, the only solution will be a hospital, an emergency procedure, and a probe to empty your bladder. Do you want to go through this? Do you want to wait for this point? Your body is already warning you, but are you listening? And now comes the scariest part, because this symptom does not come alone. Together with him, it can come to pain when urinating, a constant burning, something you might have ignored because you thought it was just irritation, a passing infection. But what if it is not? What if this is a clear sign that something is wrong within you? Something that, if you keep ignoring, can it cost not only your health but your life? Now stop and think. Has any of these situations happened to you? Any of these symptoms, however small, has it appeared? Because if so, you have two choices. Ignore and risk everything worse, or act now and seek help. But time does not expect, and the longer you expect, the harder it can be the way back. And here is something nobody wants to talk about, but I'll tell you, if prostate cancer is not treated in time, it can spread. He can leave the prostate and invade his bladder. You can reach your bones, your spine, your liver, and when it spreads, the chances of healing decrease dramatically. Treatment becomes more aggressive, the pain becomes unbearable, and in many cases, there is nothing else to do. Do you want to take that risk? Do you want to let time pass and just worry when it's too late? Because this is the reality of thousands of men who ignored the signs, men who waited because they thought it was nothing, men who only discovered when there was no longer hope. And if you think this can't happen to you, think again, because no one thinks it will happen until it happens. Nobody. But it worries until it receives the news that changes everything. But then it's too late. And now I ask you, are you ready to keep ignoring your body? Or are you ready to do something now to prevent this from happening to you? If you are here, if you have come to this point, it is because something inside you already know that this information is important. So don't stop now, because there is something more than you need to know, something that can be the key piece to save your life or the life of someone close. Did you know that there are factors that dramatically increase the risk of prostate cancer? And the worst, many of these factors are silent. You may be living with one of them now, without even imagining. Age is one of them. After age 50, the risk increases considerably. After 60, he shoots. But there is something even more worrying. If you have a family history of prostate cancer, your risk is at least twice as much as normal. And if a brother, father, or uncle has had the disease, the danger is even greater. And there is more. Food directly influences the development of this cancer. If your diet has excess fat, processed red meat, large and few vegetable dairy products, you may be increasing your risk without even realizing it. What you eat may be feeding something you don't even know you have. Physical inactivity is also a silent enemy. Men who do not exercise are more likely to develop prostate cancer. The body needs movement, needs stimuli to maintain internal balance. If you spend a lot of time sitting, if you avoid physical activities, know that this is increasing your vulnerability. And do you know which one of the most ignored factors is? The stress. That's right. Chronic stress raises levels of inflammation in the body and can trigger processes that favor cancer development. If you live under pressure, if you sleep badly, you feel that your body is always tense. Be careful. This may be contributing to a much larger problem than you think. Now tell me, how many of these factors are part of your life? Because if at least one of them is present, you already have a reason to worry. And if more than one is present, you need to act now. And here is what no one wants to hear, but it needs to be said. If you have been over 50 and have never done preventive exams, you are playing with your life. You are expecting a symptom to appear to only act. But when symptoms appear, it may be too late. Rectal touch exam and PSA are the main tests to detect prostate cancer early. But many men avoid, out of shame, for fear, for prejudice. And do you know what happens? They pay the highest price for this choice. Do you want to be one of them? Do you want to wait until there is nothing else to do? Or do you want to make a decision now that you can save your life? The choice is yours. But remember, each passing day without action is one more day that cancer can grow without you knowing. And when he decides to show himself, it may be too late to go back. Now, if you really care about your health and the lives of the people around you, do something now. Enjoy this video, comment, share this information with those who need to hear, because it may be that right now a man is ignoring these signs. It may be that he is thinking it is just the age of age. It may still have time, but only if he knows it now. And I haven't finished yet. There's something more that you need to know. Something that can make all the difference between life and death. Something that can change everything. But I will only tell you if you continue with me until the end. So tell me, are you ready to hear the truth no one has the courage to tell? Now, I'll tell you something that few people know. Something that can make all the difference between an early diagnosis and a path without return. But first, I need you to stop everything you are doing and pay attention, because this may be the information that will save your life or the life of someone you love. Did you know that there are cases of prostate cancer where traditional exams show nothing wrong? That's right. The PSA may seem normal. The touch exam may not detect any abnormality, and yet the disease may be spreading silently inside the body. This is because there are different types of prostate cancer. Some grow so slow that they can go unnoticed for years. Others, however, are extremely aggressive and do not give time to hesitation. You may have been taking an exam for a few months and feeling safe, but what is happening inside your body now? Are you absolutely sure everything is okay? Or are you just assuming this without any real proof? The truth is that many men receive a diagnosis too late because they trusted only one exam. They thought they were safe until they began to feel the symptoms, until the body began to scream what before he whispered. But at this stage, the chances of healing are no longer the same. And if you still think you can wait to take action, listen to it. Prostate cancer, when not treated in time, can lead to unbearable pain. It is not a pain that comes and goes. It is a pain that dominates your body. It can spread to bones, erode the structure of your spine, press nerve, make you lose your ability to walk, make you depend on others to the most basic things of everyday life. Do you want to get to that point? Now tell me, why wait? Why risk it? You have a chance now, a chance to act before it's too late. And if you think prostate cancer treatment is simple when you discover late, you need to hear it. Many men, when discovering the disease at an advanced stage, need to undergo extremely invasive treatments, surgeries that remove not only the prostate, but also parts of the urinary system, intense radiotherapies that weaken the body, leave the skin burned, cause extreme tiredness, hormonal therapies that destroy libido and energy, cause drastic mood changes. Are you prepared for all this? Are you ready to face years of suffering because you have decided to wait? Why did you decide to ignore the signs and think it was nothing? Now tell me, how many of these signs have you appeared on your body? How many times have you ignored that pain, that difficulty urinating, that strange feeling in the pelvic region? How many times have you convinced yourself that it was just passing discomfort? You may think you are safe now, but prostate cancer does not expect its permission to develop. He does not warn when he starts, and when he decides to show his presence, it is often too late. And make no mistake, this is not a disease that chooses only those who lead an unruly life. It doesn't matter if you have a healthy diet, if you practice exercise, if you don't smoke or drink. Prostate cancer can reach any man, and it may be growing inside you now, without you having the slightest idea. What do you prefer? Discover now, while there is still time to act, or just understand when options are already limited. And before you think of ignoring it all, pay attention to this story, because this is the story of thousands of men around the world. Imagine a healthy man, never had big health problems, always took care of food, never smoked. He feels a slight discomfort when urinating but does not give much importance. After all, he has gone over 50. It's normal for some things to change over time, right? He follows his life normally until one day he perceives something strange. The urine is different. He feels pressure on the bladder, a strange feeling in the lower back. Still, he doesn't care. But symptoms begin to get worse. He begins to feel extreme tiredness. The energy he had before disappears until one day wakes up with unbearable pain in the lower back, a pain that seems to come from within, something that does not pass with common remedies. Only then does he decide to go to the doctor. What does he find out? Advanced prostate cancer. The disease has already spread to the bones. Surgery is no longer an option. The chances of healing are minimal. Now he has no more choices. He has to accept aggressive treatments. You have to deal with the real possibility that your life will never be the same. All because it waited too much. All because it ignored the signs. And now I ask you, do you want to be that person? Do you want to risk your life this way? You want to look in the mirror one day and realize that you had a chance to act before, but did you choose to wait? Time does not forgive. The cancer does not expect. He advances, devours, destroys. But the good news is that you still have a chance to do something now. If you haven't done exams yet, do it. If you have already noticed any symptoms, see a doctor. If you are over 50 years old, be sure to later. With each passing day, it can be one less day. Each day without action can be a step closer to a diagnosis that no one wants to hear. And if you got here, it's because this information makes sense to you. So don't keep it just for you. Share. Someone you know may be ignoring the signs. Someone may be at risk without even imagining. This information can save lives, and you can be the person who made it happen. And before I finish, I need to tell you one more thing. Something that can be decisive for your health. Something that can change everything. But I will only tell you if you continue with me, because this nobody tells you. And now I need to tell you something that almost no one knows. Something that can make all the difference between a future of life and a future of suffering. Something that can completely change the way you face your own health. But before revealing this, I need to do you a direct question. What if you were sick now, right now, but didn't you know? Because this is the reality of thousands of men. They feel good, they think it's all normal, they believe that nothing wrong is happening. But inside, something is growing, something that does not warn, something that, when discovered, may already be out of control. And here is what no one has the courage to say. Prostate cancer is not only manifest with physical symptoms. Often, he is advancing without leaving clues. And when he reveals himself, when the first signs appear, it may be too late. Are you willing to take this risk? Are you ready to bet that everything is fine without being absolutely sure? Because here is a brutal fact. 1/3 of men who discover prostate cancer already find it at an advanced stage. This means that for these men, treatment options are already reduced, that the tumor may have already escaped the prostate and invaded other organs, that the chances of a total recovery are much lower. Now imagine receiving this news. Imagine being sitting in front of a doctor, hoping that everything is fine, and then he looks in his eyes and says, "It's advanced." Imagine the impact of it. Imagine how your life would change at that moment. But now I ask you, do you really need to wait for this moment? Do you need to wait until there is no return? Or can you act now, while there is still time, while decisions are in your hands? And do you know what is even worse? Many people around you may be at risk right now. Your brother, your father, your husband, your best friend. Men who, like you, think nothing wrong is happening, who think they can expect, but cancer does not expect. He advances. He destroys. He gives no chance. What if you knew you could avoid it all? If you knew that a simple exam can save your life? Because that is the truth. An exam may be the difference between simple treatment and aggressive treatment, between a normal life and a life of pain and suffering. And if you haven't been convinced of this situation yet, listen to it. Did you know that in many cases, prostate cancer can cause bone metastasis? This means that if it is not treated in time, it can spread to your spine, to your hips, to your legs. And when this happens, the pain becomes unbearable. It is not a common pain. It is not a pain that you relieve with painkillers. It is a pain that consumes you, a pain that does not pass, a pain that can prevent you from walking, moving, living with dignity. Now imagine your life with this pain. Imagine not being able to get out of bed. Imagine you need help for the most basic things. Do you want this for your future? Do you want to take that risk? If you have gotten here, it means you care. It means that this information is making sense to you. So now, I need you to do something for me. Enjoy this video. Comment. Share with those who need to know this. Because there is a man right now ignoring these signs. There's a man thinking it's okay, while something silent is growing inside him. And you can be the person who brings this information to him. You can be the person who saves a life. But before I finish, I need to tell you one more thing. Something that can help you protect yourself even more. Something that can dramatically increase your chances of avoiding this problem. But I will only tell you if you continue with me. Because this information is crucial. Have you heard of the impact of prostate health? Because here is a shocking fact. What you eat may be increasing or decreasing your chances of developing prostate cancer. What if I told you that there are foods that feed cancer, that help it grow faster, to spread faster, to strengthen yourself inside your body? Because that's exactly what happens. Foods rich in saturated fat, such as processed meats, fatty cheese, and fried foods, may be creating a perfect environment for the development of the disease. Studies have already shown that rich diets in these foods are directly linked to the increase in prostate cancer cases. But that's not all. Did you know that too much sugar can be one of the great villains? Excessive sugar causes inflammation in the body. And inflammation is what often starts serious illnesses, including cancer. And here is something even more worrying. Alcohol. If you consume alcohol regularly, know that this may be compromising your health more than you think. Alcohol increases the production of inflammatory substances in the body, which can create the perfect environment for cancer cells to grow. Now, if you really want to protect yourself, pay attention to what I'm going to say. There are foods that can help reduce the risk of this disease, foods that fight inflammation, which strengthen your organism, which protect your cells against damage. Tomato, for example, contains lycopene, a powerful antioxidant, who has been associated with reducing the risk of prostate cancer. Cruciferous vegetables, such as broccoli and cauliflower, help the body eliminate toxins that can cause cellular mutations. Omega-3 rich fish, such as salmon and sardines, help reduce inflammation and protect their cells against damage. Green tea, rich in antioxidants, also has protective effects. Now tell me, is your diet protecting you or putting you at risk? Are you nourishing your body with what it needs to stay strong and healthy? Or is it, without realizing it, creating a perfect environment for cancer to grow? Because in the end, the choice is yours. You can keep living without worrying about it, or you can take attitudes now to ensure a healthy future. And before I finish, I need to tell you one more thing. Something no one says. Something that can be the biggest mistake you can make about this disease. Now you have a choice. You can ignore everything you just heard and keep living as if nothing is happening. Or you can make the right decision. Act now and ensure that this disease never has a chance to get you off guard. But let me ask you something very serious. Is it worth risking? Is it worth ignoring the signs and waiting to see what happens? Is it worth postponing an exam, knowing that it can be the only thing that can save your life? Because the truth is one. Prostate cancer does not expect. He doesn't care if you are busy, if you have other worries, if you think everything is fine. He advances. It grows. And when he decides to show himself, it is often too late. So if you haven't done your exams yet, do it. If you have already noticed any symptoms, don't ignore it. If you have a family history, you redouble your attention. You can't leave it for later. You cannot take this risk. And remember, this information is not just for you. Someone nearby may be having to hear this. Your father, your brother, your husband, your friend. Do not keep this information. Share. Save lives. Because it may be that a simple click now is the difference between someone to take care of each other or find out too late. If this message made sense to you, like this video, comment, share with as many people as you can, and tell me in the comments, did you already know these signs? Have any of them appeared in your life or in the life of someone close? Your story can alert other people. Now the decision is in your hands. What are you going to do? Will you act now or will you wait to see what happens? I hope you made the right choice. Until next time.